The majority of oncology patients die not of the primary tumor, but of its metastases, secondary tumors, formed by cells having separated from the primary tumor. Most frequently, the primary tumor suffers from the lack of oxygen, which causes stress and launches the mechanism of metastasis. There is a theory that primary tumor, using continuous molecular signal, prepares an advantageous surrounding in a sound tissue before the first cancer cell is delivered by the bloodstream to a proper place. The primary tumor releases exosomes, which are bubbles covered by a lipid membrane, which dimension of 5 to 100 nanometers. Exosomes can contain some protein and RNA inside. During the hypoxia and due to stress, some tumor cell can transform and penetrate into surrounding tissue. During this process, called tumor cell invasion, a tumor cell undergoes some changes. The cell changes its form, and now it has a preferential direction. After that, special receptors appear of the membrane, and the protein myosin II is activated, which makes the cell move. Whereafter the hind part of the cell separates from its surrounding and draws to its front part. The cell leaves the tumor and starts traveling in the bloodstream. Without any special molecular mechanism, the cells suffer from influence of unfavorable physical conditions and is attacked by the immune system. For example, a rather big cancer cell can plug a blood vessel and launch an inflammatory response. In this case, the apoptosis mechanism is launched and the cell is attacked by the immune system cell, which stops the spread of metastasis. To survive in the bloodstream, cancer cells activate coagulation cascade and form platelet protecting shield. The key molecules, the synthesis of which on the cell surface launches coagulation, are considered the blood coagulation factor and membrane phospholipid phosphatidylserine. Phosphatidylserine creates advantageous surface for platelet adhesion. As a result, a cancer cell is covered by platelet protecting shield, which helps it travel with bloodstream and form new tumors. Thrombosis symptoms are directly measured up against the process tumor development and metastasis and worsen both cancer therapy and chances for recovery. It is considered that in a bloodstream, a cancer cell acts like a leukocyte penetrating through the blood vessel wall. Usually the metastasizing process is rather aggressive and highly probably leads to patient's death within a short period. However, sometimes the organism can get into the equilibrium with tumor process without suppressing it completely, but on the other hand, without letting the tumor destroy the organism. Without blood vessel growth, any accumulation of metastasizing cells cannot turn into fully functional tumor. Thus, the cell release blood vessel growth factor alpha and form precursors of endothelial cells. These tumor blood vessel branches too often, and dead-end capillaries without blood circulation can appear. Thus, tumor cells suffer from the lack of nutrient materials and hypoxia, which cause stress and leads to the further metastasis. Yet we can hope that with all that new knowledge about biology of tumor growth inhibitors metastasizing process will be found and will help an oncological disease therapy.
What for I was trying to show it to you guys, because I need you to understand that if we're talking about each oncological disorder, we're talking about cellular disorder first, not about organic disorder. We can't remove it. If you see clinical important tumor, it means that spreading was done already. And we have the cells inside of in other places of our organs. And the trouble in an oncological disorder. That's the trouble. But for cancer of the endometrium, that story is not such a. One more time, if the local cavity, and we have the time. Serious spreading will be later, after stage 2, stage 3, and we can find that spreading in the beginning. And by the way, don't forget that we have premalignant disorder, like hyperplastic growth of the endometrium. What kinds of stages? Stage 1 is a small cancer, and only in stage 1B we have spreading inside myometrium. Stage 2 spread into connective tissue of the cervix, but not spread outside the uterus, not spread outside. Everything is inside here. Stage 3, of course, spreading behind the uterus and cervix, but has not spread behind the pelvis. And we can find stage 3A, 3B, and 3C. What 3C is the formation of the cancer in the lymphatic nodules. It means that only when we are talking about stage 3B, now we can find indications for the serious chemotherapy. Until stage 3, we can make hysterectomy. It will be enough for us because we can expect everything inside the local place, inside the genitalia. No, stage 4, it's spreading inside the bladder, inside the bowel, and so on and so forth. That's why FIGO surgical stage, take a look. And chances for 5 years surviving. Take a look. The maximum difference will be here from stage 3A to stage 3C in 2 times. If you are talking about 1A, 1B, 1C, chances to live more than 80%. For stage 1A, 91. That's why if you are talking about complex atypical hyperplastic process, best way for that to remove it, to remove everything. And in that case, we can increase the chances for surviving them for 100%. Try to imagine. No, don't forget that in oncology we talk about 5 years survival only, because we don't have such stories about 10 years, 15 years. But believe me, endometrial cancer is the good cancer. He can, I'm not talking about the subjective investigation. Of course, everything will be around abnormal menstrual bleeding, around menorrhage, around massive bleeding outside from the cavity of the uterus. Так, poor prognostic factors, you can see that picture. No, and one more time, black race actually had the poor prognosis. I can't explain it why, because usually black race had the aggressive type of the cancer, actually. So guys, you can be free for today. Thank you for your attention. It was an important lecture. I believe that we will meet you next week and continue to talk about our oncological problems. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.